Alright, we're gonna be playing Vid. Yeah, there he is. I'm gonna wait for him to finish typing something. So, uh, make sure everything's recording. Okay. Taking now. I will send so that no one loses time. And we have first move. Panic, panic. Okay. First thing that comes to mind is Luna Freya in 8, where we have the double recaps, but they do have 3998 covering it, and we don't really want to be headed down. Maybe Maria in 1. We have a little play against some of their captures. Doesn't really seem like that's a direction they want to go. We have a nice recapture in 4. Not so clean in 2, but they don't have combo play back. Maybe it would be better to go in 3, but I am low on time, so I'm going to make a move. All right. On their turn, we should probably be doing useful thinking. That seems like it would be the optimal thing to do. I don't think I have that in me right now. So we will take a break and be ready to panic in about 25 seconds. I don't like that I have 2 cards that are bad going to the left. All my cards are pretty happy going up, but they're not all happy going to the left. It does mean I have some play against, downright stuff, but a little worrisome. All right, he has picked up a card. I don't remember what it is. Irvine. Okay. We can take that. All right, they have 2. We do not have 2. So we should probably get rid of 2. There's a couple ways to do it. None of them are all that appealing. I don't love this. All right, maybe I'll do it with Terra. That way we cover 9838 landing in 4, which makes it harder for them to flip stuff. They could play 9838 and 5, and I don't have a plan against that, but it would use up a lot of their up power. I think we're behind here. But Brawny in 1, we have combo play in 7. 9838, sorry, in 4. 9838 and 4, we have combo play in 5. 9838 and 5, they kind of give up a lot of their ups. That's probably their best card. At least that's the hope. He'll probably go in 6. And then we'll be in trouble. That's the game plan. He goes 6, I feel upset. What a plan. These games are so fast. You have no time to, I don't know, stabilize yourself. Alright, he picked up 9838. Okay, it goes in 4. Does that mean he has a combo back if we combo? I don't see the combo back. Does he have a big setup? If we go A8, 2-8 in 5. Well, he'd have to set up 8, because if he goes 9, we can block 6. He'd have to set up 8. And so is he planning 3998? No, I have the combo back. I don't see what the problem is. So if I don't see the problem, I have to take the combo. We don't play scared. My point is that on 3998 and 9, setting up Brawny and 8, we have Riku and 7 to cover. So we checked if there was a problem. I didn't see the problem. Now we should be able to just block 6. And I think that's the tournament. Alright, interesting setup plan from him, but I was lucky to have the card that covered, and that meant I could walk into it. Yeah. Alright, neat to win my first tournament in, a couple years. 1 minute was fun. I do not think I was the best player in the format, but I will take it. Historically, Historically, I would do victory laps whenever I won 9 lost against someone, so Vid has shamed me in this case. He is the moral winner, even if I took the tournament. Um, I think I played pretty well in every round except against Turds, where I was just completely outplayed really badly. Um, I think I was like, Vid plays a style. I was gonna say this in an intro, but we were just getting into the game. Vid plays a style where like one of three things is gonna happen. You could say this is true against everyone, but shh. Number one, he plays really well. This is bad. You don't want this to happen. Um, you don't want that to happen. It'll happen. Like I'm gonna be making something in the near future that can show records of games to a general audience, and you can go back and look at games. Check out Vid's win over Nightwish in the Nanaki finals. Just fantastic play, really great play. Um, the second thing that can happen is Vid does something crazy and it doesn't work, but you can't figure it out. And especially in 1 minute, that's really plausible. And the finals thing is Vid does his deranged lunatic stuff and you can figure it out. And here I was lucky that it was pretty straightforward. But I think this game could have very easily gone in a quite different direction here. Um, I think he was probably, we can check with the solver. I think he was probably better after the move in 3. Maybe quite a bit better. I don't think I was lost, I guess, is my one claim to not being that disastrous, but I certainly don't think I was doing well. I think that was a very nice move. Um, which I was not really considering for him, partially because I wasn't really looking at his moves. I was sort of trying to create something that my cards were happier with than his cards. But it struck me as a card he might want to keep for later, is how I was sort of conceptualizing it in my head. And so I was surprised when it was used, but it was clearly a strong move. I think adjacent corners are often very good against weak corners. They sort of create pressure against it in a way that, let's not go into it, but I think is difficult to deal with. Um, okay, so Mr. Solver says my starter was low pressure. Possibly very low pressure. Now, I'm not going to check like all the alternatives, so there's always a case of comparison. But he had 5 moves that lose and 35 that tie. Normally, on a normal starter, about a third of moves lose and 2/3 tie, which is like 13 out of 40. So only 5 out of 30 means this was a very low pressure starter, and I think he must have been well ahead after his move in 3. Yeah, I have 12 ties and 16 losses, which does sound way worse. Calculation is different turn by turn. I would say this, I'm definitely behind there. I blocked in 2, and he has 3 ties after my move in 2. So actually, this was pretty good. I thought he would play in 6. He had 2 ties in 6, so 6 was the best square. But you do have to be precise around which card you put there. It had to be either 6A9-2 or 9-3A6. So his position was a lot more dangerous than I thought. And he can also play 1 card in 4, but it has to be brawny. That's pretty scary, because it does walk into the combo. But he can then play a setup and okay, no, that's not humanly gonna be the tying plan. So this was actually a very tough spot for him. He ends up going 9-8, 3-8, and 4, and apparently I have multiple wins here. I could have gone in 6 with A7, 7, 4 and kept stuff open. I went for 5, which was also winning. Okay, so probably my starter was suboptimal, but not terrible. I thought his move in 3 was good. I think my move in 2 was probably the best move. It's hard to imagine there's something that does more pressure than that. He has 3 ties, and one of them is very complicated, and the other 2, he has 4 cards that can go somewhere, and it's not obvious these are the 2 you should be thinking of using. If I had to guess which cards could go in 6 for a tie, I would probably guess I mean, maybe those are the 2 you guess, but maybe you pick 3, 9, 9, 8. I don't think it's obvious. I think this ended up swinging somewhat dramatically, and then I was lucky that his combo setup didn't win. All right, I guess that's it. Congrats to me. Uh, Congrats to Turds, who was, from my experience in the tournament, the player who did best against me. But I think this was a fun finals, and I'm looking forward to seeing Vid versus Smokes if they do play it, which they probably will, because I thought Smokes played on average the best for the tournament, probably. Like, just really precise, good play. Second round win was fantastic. And I think Vid got the win against Delhi, which is the nightmare win to achieve. Also, DJ got the win against Akiyama. A lot of good wins. Yeah. So, okay. I feel like I should have more closing off here. Obviously, this is just a one small 1 minute tourney, but it's fun to still do well after a few years of not competing, and also it's fun to do well. I used to be really good at 2 minute open, which was the fastest time control available then. I don't think I was the best at it. I think Great Sephiroth was the best at 2 minute open, but I think I was good, and then I reached clear number two status. I think I was clearly the second best at that format during my prime. And it was one I took pride in. And so it's fun to do well in a tournament that is a 1 minute open tournament at a point in time when I am not near as fast or as like efficient in my thought as I used to be. Because I guess how you get fast in thought is to be very efficient, like focus quickly on the lines that matter, calculate narrow lines well and precisely, and do not spend time on anything extraneous, and do not spend time where you are not doing useful thinking, right? That's all kind of efficiency, right? It's having very efficient thinking. And I think I used to have much more efficient thinking. So, anyway, it's really nice to do well in a format that feels like the modern version of something I used to specialize in.